Hello and welcome to my commentary on a Google Hangout 3 for Todd, Aaron, and Maria. And I just wanted to let you know that I really enjoyed your discussion and the conversations that you had. And this is on toxic leaderships. Toxic leadership and incivility in the workplace. So you started by talking about the three types of three criteria that Reed discussed in his video on what constitutes the toxic leadership. Among those, the impact on climate, the self-interest, and lack of regards for others. And you are supposed to position yourself with respect to whether you think that the type of leadership or type of management displayed by the human blowtorch, as Reed described it, or one of the commanding officers discussed, whether that was an example of toxic leadership. And you had a really good discussion on the fact that, that self-interest or promoting on the backs of others, wasn't there. This was a person that was certainly focused on a mission, and that was his leadership style, even though, one of those criteria was not present. And so you had a discussion around that. And Todd, I think you mentioned that in your environment and where you have worked, providing the security services to special events for the Obamas and Bushes and Hillary, you have to work with contingency plans. And certainly with contingency plans, you've got a lot of uncertainty, unpredictability, and you have to move fast when things change in your planning, right? So in those fast-paced environments, you sort of more used to what I call a tactical leadership style. So somebody that is very directive or more authoritarian, like the nuke them individual was. And certainly I see the difference in your approach, whether you have been a professional in HSEM, Homeland Security Emergency Management arenas, or whether you have, had a different organizational workplace experience. And certainly, you say that Maria brought up a very interesting point that if you have people that are lethargic, apathetic, or unmotivated, that leadership style seems to work. And it is an interesting proposition, but I also want you to think about the fact that typically, in a response phase, you might be required to get commands and get things done just to get things done. But in your everyday operations in the police department or emergency operations center, the bullying or somebody being a human blowtorch can be also very eroding for the morale and for the satisfaction with the work. And even though you sometimes need, as Maria said, to have the iron fist, generally you can address those bullying behaviors and those other behaviors that are a little bit more subliminal are very difficult to challenge. So, which was really more of the response to the other question. And I think Todd linked those two. So which took us to the next discussion about the self-esteem, integrity, morale, divisiveness, social exclusion, and all those factors that that are toxic in a workplace. And certainly we do not want bullies. And if you go to those lethargic and apathetic people, I want to refer you back. Maria had a very good presentation on situational leadership. I think it was you, Maria, that did the situational leadership. And if you recall, the situational leadership follows along the line of experience and motivation.